This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, and welcome back to our skin series. Today, Liz and myself are talking about different skin types and how to build a good skincare routine into your routine. So just to explain very quickly, skin types and skin conditions are two very totally different things. So a skin type is something generally that you are born with, and that is your genetic makeup of a skin type, which would be normal, dry, oily. Combination is sort of one that flips between the two, and sensitive, again, it flips between the two skin type and skin condition. A skin condition then is something that is basically what your skin has lived in, and things that you have maybe put onto it or put into your body that has caused the condition. So there's a very long list of conditions. We're not going to go too much into that today, and we will come back another day and do more on the condition side of it. But today we're talking about skin types and what your main core skin is. So I'll pass over to Liz and she can explain a little bit more.
Yeah, so I'm loving that we're talking about this subject today, because I think that this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they are purchasing their skincare, unless of course they've been for a facial or spoken to a specialist. Because I think generally people think about a concern with their skin and they'll go and buy their skincare products for that concern. So like you said, we're not going to talk about a lot of them today, but let's say, for example, the most common ones that we see are things like acne, premature aging, like fine lines and wrinkles, pigmentation and eczema dermatitis. So if we kind of look at those, but people will think, right, okay, I need to go and buy my products to help with those concerns. And then they're not giving their skin type what it needs at its root, which can lead to drawing away too many oils, even worse skin barrier damage. And then actually the skin concerns are even worse. So the really important thing is to understand what skin type you are. And actually, the more that you support that with the right products, I have seen so much better results with skincare concerns. Now, yes, you still need to add in the odd product here and the odd treatment to help with them. But the more that we can really look after what our skin needs at its core, which often means that we're supporting our skin barrier with what it needs as well, people's skin can thrive. So if you aren't able to go along to speak to somebody about your skin, which I would 100% recommend, because I think people often think, oh my gosh, it's such an investment going to speak to somebody, and am I then going to have to spend hundreds of pounds on products? And that's not the case at all. Invest in what you can afford to invest in to start with. Skincare doesn't have to be expensive, and if you can only start small, start small. But the benefit of actually speaking to somebody that knows what they're talking about is you're actually going to not waste money in the long run. So I have people that will say to me, it's such an investment, but then I'll say to them, well, just go and open your bathroom cabinet at home and tell me how much value is sat in there of products that are not giving your skin what it needs and not what works. Do you see the same?
Definitely. Clients have I have a cheek to talk because I have a range of products myself that I don't even suit my skin type. My excuse is I buy them to try them before I let anybody else use them. But there is a massive amount of them in there. But I think, as you're saying, your basic products, which for me is your cleanser, toner, and moisturizer, is the skin type. And then we add in the boosters and the more advanced sort of products to improve the skin condition.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's where people really get confused. They buy full range of products for, let's take acne, for example, where their skin maybe naturally isn't producing massive amount of oil because it's maybe a different reason for the acne. And it is maybe only they need a booster or a mask to help with the acne, but they need the cleanser, toner, and moisturizer to help with their skin type. I think that's a really good part to put over, that people need to understand the differences between the two.
Yeah, definitely. So if they can't get to a salon to test skin type, I actually shared something the other day about this, and a really good way of doing it is that we don't want to be looking at our skin type once we've put creams, serums and moisturizers on, because actually they are then mimicking, they are basically making your skin what it is because you've put something on it. So the best way, I think, is that cleanse your face or just wash your face, leave it for 30 minutes. If you can leave it for 60, even better. Don't do anything, just sit down, have a nice cup of tea, read a book, whatever it may be, just chill out for that time. And then afterwards, go to the mirror, take a look at your skin, and you're going to examine A, how it feels, but B, how it looks. Now, if it's quite obviously, which is exactly what my skin looks like, it feels like within half an hour, a little bit tight, I feel like I need some sort of product on there, there's not really any shine anywhere, you're generally going to be a dry skin. If we've got that feeling over our cheeks, but then the T-zone's oily, then that could be combination. But again, there could be other things that are causing that excess oil that's probably from internal as well. So it could be that you are still dry, but if you've got that shine, it's combination. If your skin feels great and actually there's quite a lot of shine, you're probably oily. And if your skin feels okay, there's not really much shine, you know, you don't really feel like you need much product, then it's probably normal. And I think with the sensitive side of things, again, that can flip between be dry and oily, depending on what's happening from an internal point of view. And then the sensitivity just show up as redness, perhaps a bit itchy, can feel quite aggravated, and as if it really does need something that's there and it's quite soothing. So I think that's kind of just a generally good way of looking at trying to work out what your skin type is. And then when you were saying about, you know, the products that you're using, looking at an AM and a PM routine, your cleanser in the morning, actually, if you've got a dry, really dry, dehydrated skin at the moment, maybe you don't need to over cleanse in the morning. Maybe, you know, you just need to cleanse really good in an evening, and you only need a splash of water in the morning. Like, that is very rare, but I have seen that happen with some clients when they're trying to bring their skin back from it being too dry and dehydrated. But yeah, if we're looking at a routine, then you've got your cleanser in the morning, followed by your toner, followed by your moisturizer, followed by your SPF, and then in an evening, a double cleanse, so that we're making sure we're getting rid of that SPF and makeup first, second cleanse to cleanse the skin, and then your moisturizer, your toner and your moisturizer. And actually, your serums then would fit in between your toners and your moisturizers. And your serums are what you're going to be buying, your essences and things like that are what you're going to be buying for your skin concerns. But also a thing to also think about here is that when you first start to add these in, they're going to be active ingredients, aren't they? And often what happens is people overuse them, don't they? So what would your top tips be on how to kind of reintroduce or to introduce again an active into their routine?
So it obviously depends on what it is that you're introducing, but a lot of people need to start off slow. Maybe, for example, I had a client at the weekend and they were adding, so they started off with their basic routine. So they had bought their cleanser, toner, moisturizer on their first treatment, and now we're starting to introduce other products to help with their skin conditions. And one of the products, you pop it on twice a week for the first week, then 3 times a week the second week, and that's how we introduce it slowly. Now, that is a very active product. A lot of other ones can be put on once a day and then maybe introduced twice a day once your skin gets used to it. But definitely breaking it in, getting the advice that from the brand that you're purchasing from is really, really important, because the stronger and stronger product you're buying, realistically, the more and more support. So whether it's something you can just buy over the counter or something that you must be recommended from a skincare professional, then will come with their recommendations, and it's really important that you listen to them. I've seen myself have an enzyme peel, put it on, jump in the shower, and because of the steam, it overactivates the active ingredients and walk out and look like I'd had a chemical peel.
Oh wow.
And I know better. So
yeah.
There's lots of things like that can just, that little bit of heat. I have another client at the minute that is drinking lots of coffee And no matter what we're doing, it's just the redness is just flaring straight through. And realistically, it is going to be reducing down the caffeine that's going to make the difference.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, what's a good point to say is that when you do start to introduce actives, you know, people think like, oh, it's stinging, it's doing good to my skin. Like, that's not necessarily the case at all. Like, it shouldn't feel like stingy or astringent. Or, of course, if you're having a peel, there's going to be the slight tingling sensation. But yeah, you shouldn't be using products every day that feel like they're stinging and burning your skin. And second of all, is that there is going to be some sort of purging for a short period of time as well with some active ingredients. And what I mean by that is that sometimes you can get the odd breakout, can't you, when you're introducing new actives into your routine, or when you're introducing new skincare anyway. But I think the important thing to just bear in mind here that it's just a few. If it's just a few outbreaks, if after the 4 to 6 week period, by the time your skin cells have renewed, that's died down and your skin's looking a lot better, then generally those products will be absolutely fine for you. But if you are having any purging, any breakouts, any reactions that last longer than the 4 to 6 weeks, it's possible that those active ingredients, actually, as much as, you know, we can advise best, sometimes it is just a case of they will not suit that person's skin, and it needs to be a case of switching it to something else that perhaps does.
Yeah, it is definitely anything that's sort of lasting, then it's possibly that it's not suitable for your skin. And the big telltales is if you feel heat in your skin, the majority of products now, I think I could name 2 off the top of my head that does bring erythema and does cause a little bit of heat, but they are masks. Any product that's on your skin for the whole day should not cause heat within your skin. And if it is stinging, then it is wash it off and then either ask for advice, or if you've just bought it over the counter, then it's not suitable for you. Yeah,
definitely. And then I'd just finish by saying as well, if you feel that you've got a little bit lost with your skincare routine and you have got lots of products in the, you know, you might be using 7, 8, 9, 10 different things, and you feel it's not giving you the results. I'm going to share a personal experience here. So I, in January, decided that I wanted to go and have laser treatment on my face to remove some thread veins. And because of that, I wasn't allowed to use any chemical exfoliants, no retinoids, no, what else was I using? No vitamin C, like anything that was going to alter my skin to make it any more sensitive to light, to, you know, anything that would stimulate my skin whatsoever. So for the last 3 months, I've literally just been using cleansers and moisturizers. Now, other than the 2 or 3 times since then, when it's been the time of the month and I've had a couple of hormonal breakouts, they're perhaps taken a little bit longer than what they would do normally to clear up. You know, the scarring that they've left afterwards has perhaps taken longer to heal. And probably I would say now I'm starting to see that my skin tone's perhaps not as even. But other than that, really, there hasn't been any, like, you know, so I think often sometimes it is just a case of, yeah, do you know what, strip it back. If you're at a bit of a, like, I need to take out all of these steps, just go back to your cleanser, your moisturizer and your SPF. It's not going to do your skin any harm for short term. It's probably going to do it better until you work out what all of those products are actually about, what they're doing and which of them you actually need to use. And then after, you know, 4 to 6 weeks, you can look to then start to reintroduce them, but in the right way and in the right order.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say too that cost, if you're looking at trying to reduce down your cost of your skincare, then they are the key products that you've just mentioned that you should have in your regular routine. And anything else, then I always class it as a booster. It's going to increase something better within your skin. And you don't need to do that 52 weeks of the year. Like, I would use hyaluronic acid as a booster, but generally only for 3 months of the year. And I also have a little sort of hyaluronic capsule that I add in if I've been at the beach for the day and my skin just feels that sore, wind-beaten Northern Ireland weather. So I would pop that on, but like, that's it. Do you know, I don't feel like you need a booster all the time.
No, definitely not. Yeah, if we support what our skin is at its core, give what the skin type needs, and make sure we're looking after our skin barrier and our skin microbiome with a gentle, effective approach, you're going to get much better results. So yeah, I love that subject. Thanks for joining me on that one.
Thank you everybody for watching.
I'll see you later.
Bye.